everybody. I am just going to wait for a couple of minutes for a few others to join us. So just checking my technology is all working well this morning. Please do leave me comments. I'd love to hear from you. It's great to know if you can hear me even, so that would be brilliant. If whoever's watching, if you want to just pop a little comment there just to let me know you can hear me fine. And it'd be great to know where you're all from. I'm here in my kitchen in Hertfordshire, surrounded by lovely Chiltern farming countryside, and yeah, so it'd be really good to hear where you are all tuning in from today. So we'll get started in a minute. I can't wait to share lots of great things all about our wonderful British veg. And that's great, Caroline, thank you. I'm glad you're hearing me loud and clear from Cornwall. That's brilliant. Hope you've got a sunny day down there. We've got glorious sun here. Some of my family are on holiday in Orkney at the moment, and I know it's a bit foggy up there. So yeah, really great. And so exciting that we're finally starting another British Food Fortnight. Hi Dave, good to hear you in Reading. So I think I will get started pretty soon. I have a helper with me today actually. Jane, come over here and say hi. This is my lovely daughter Jane.
Hi.
Who's 17, just working away hard at A-level. She's going to keep me right on the technology, and I'm going to get her busy chopping some veg for me.
Yep.
Excellent. Should we get started?
I think we should.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Lucy and I am a registered nutritionist. I'm an ambassador for the fabulous campaign Love British Food. And I'm just so happy to be here today to get the British Food Fortnight off to a great start. I used to be a vet actually, so I'm also an advocate for dairy and all our British farmers really. One of my jobs as a nutritionist is I really help to promote all our fabulous British produce, and I'm never happier than when I'm working with British farmers. So I'm chatting with you all, chatting today all about British veg, but I also love being an advocate for dairy and meat and eggs and a complete balanced diet. So what else do I want to say? Of course, it's the start of Leaf Online Open Farm Sunday this weekend, and I'm first up, so that's quite a privilege. So I think we all know that we recommended to have 5 a day of our veg, but do we really know why? So I'm just going to have 20 minutes today just sharing the 101 on what it actually is in veg that is so great. So why is it good for our immune system? Why is it good for our heart? Why is it even really good for our mood? So I was out in the garden this morning and I've dug up some of our beetroot and potatoes. We've got some tomatoes that are hopefully going to ripen in the sunshine. So there are the key things that I'm sure all of you know about our British veg is that it's obviously packed with vitamins. I think everybody knows that. It's also a really great source of fibre, and that's one of the things I really want to talk quite a bit about this morning, and antioxidants. And in fact, for example, this fantastic bright purple colour in beetroot, most of that comes from its antioxidants, and also that's packed with vitamin A. And of course, just to say, right now we're in British harvest time. Our fruit and veg is just bountiful at the moment. And so if we can buy seasonal veg, the brilliant thing about that is that it is packed with nutrients. It's at its most rich as far as nutrients go. It's also at its cheapest because there's so much of it. And if we can buy it locally, so much the better, because we're supporting our local communities, and it obviously hasn't had to travel very far. So great for the environment, and the nutrients aren't dying off in the time it takes to travel. So I am going to go straight in with fibre.
Cool.
And I'm going to prepare my veg a bit as I'm talking. In fact, I'm going to get Jane doing that for me. And I'm going to tell you about fibre because I'm so passionate about it, and it's really, really interesting. So Jane, do you want to get chopping these carrots into sticks and the pepper as well for me? So we all hear that we should be eating fibre, and basically what fibre is, it's a type of carbohydrate. But it's a type of carbohydrate that we cannot digest like we digest carbohydrate that's in pasta and bread and cake. And it passes, rather than being digested normally like other carbohydrates in our small intestine, it passes all the way down to our large intestine. And when it gets there, it is fermented by the bacteria in our large intestine, in our colon, and that is a really key process in our health, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But where do we get fibre? So root vegetables are a fantastic way of increasing your fibre. We don't think of these as a common source of carbohydrates, but they do have carbohydrate in them and lots of fibre, especially if you're keeping the skin on it when you cook it. And I've got some potatoes here as well. So root vegetables like carrots that Jane's chopping up, really good source of fibre. But it's also in all our whole grains, nuts and seeds, wholemeal pasta, wholemeal bread, all that sort of thing. So we all know that fibre helps our digestion, it helps our food pass down through our gut and keeps us well in that way. But the other process that I mentioned before is this fermentation that happens in our large intestine, and that fermentation of the fibre, which is how we digest it, is done by our gut bacteria. And you've probably all seen this term in the media at the moment, gut health. And I have to say, it sounds a bit faddy, and in my nutrition work, everything I do is evidence-based, and I can reassure you there's nothing faddy about gut health. It's super exciting. There's loads of fantastic research. And for any families watching, any children, the fun thing is that as human beings, we are actually more bacteria than we are our own body cells. We evolved with bacteria, and they are just an integral part of our health. So yeah, Jane's learning all about
project on this at the moment.
Jane's learning all about this at school at the moment as well, so it's quite exciting that it's even in the national curriculum. Anyway, so by eating lots of fibre, what we do is we nurture those really, really good bacteria in our gut. And what they then do is, research is now showing us that those bacteria actually have huge health benefits. So for a start, they really help our immune system. Most of the cells of our immune system, 80% of them, are actually in the lining of our gut. So the bacteria that are there are constantly exercising the immune system and stimulating it. And so one thing we can do right now, especially as a mother with children going back to school, and we're obviously all trying to stay as healthy as we can, the more fibre you eat, the more beneficial it is for your gut bacteria, and it has hugely beneficial effects on your immune system. So that's my top tip for today. Loads of other benefits as well. We know that they help to reduce type 2 diabetes. They really help to reduce allergy, and I don't want to go into all the science of it, but one of the things that the bacteria do is when they ferment fibre is that they produce chemicals which are really helpful to our health. And one of those chemicals makes sure that the wall of our gut stays nice and well sealed. So it's a very, all the little cells that make the wall of our gut, if this is one cell and this is another, they fit together really tightly. And it's the chemicals from our bacteria that do that. And so that helps us to stop absorbing things that we shouldn't. Therefore, it helps to protect us against developing allergy. So immune system, allergy, diabetes, our heart health as well is hugely helped by eating fibre. And one of the other key things that people are always interested to know is that another of the products of that fermentation that I'm talking about is very good for preventing inflammation in our gut. So if you maybe are suffering from something like irritable bowel syndrome, any of those inflammatory gut problems, generally eating as much fibre as you can is really beneficial. So anyway, quite enough of all the technical stuff, but I hope I'm helping you to see that that fibre is so important, and it's great to see lots of people watching. Hello Heather from Northampton, and Caroline, I can see you've got a question coming up, so I'm just gonna see if I can get that. We're only 10% human, that's right. So it's absolutely incredible. Those bacteria in our gut, between them, they have over 100 times their own genetic material than we do as humans. So actually, you know, it's a massive, massive impact on our health. So it's a really exciting area of research, really important to share with you, and it's very new. So it's all only just coming out, but it's going to be really the future of helping us all to stay as healthy as we can. How's it going, Jane? Fantastic. Lovely carrots and peppers all chopped up here. When I finish talking in 5 minutes or so, I'm going to show you this lovely family pasta dish that we love, which has got British trout in it. Fish, of course, a wonderful food, and we're going to add all these veggies in. So I have talked about fibre. Actually, one more thing I wanted to say is those gut bacteria, they also produce a chemical that is required to make our happiness hormone. Feeling happy today, Jane?
Very happy.
Looking happy.
Yeah, very happy.
T-shirt, excellent. And our happiness hormone, obviously pivotal in how we feel. So again, the fibre in our food feeds our gut bacteria, helps our levels of happiness hormone, so actually affects our mood generally. So when we have a gut feeling, it's probably absolutely true. And of course, the other great thing about the fibre in veg is that it helps to steady our blood sugar. So whereas if we eat a piece of cake, and actually right behind the camera that you can't see, there is yesterday's chocolate cake. Yeah, I think you better go and get chocolate cake. There's always room for cake. And when we eat a lovely piece of cake, our blood sugar goes sky high, which is nice at the time, but not so good when it drops back down again. And here comes the cake. Sorry, cake coming in. There we go.
Just to disprove that we're not eating vegetables on their own all the time.
There we go. Yeah, I am a nutritionist that loves cake as well. But if we eat lots of fibre in our food as well, then that actually, because it is also a carbohydrate, but it is one that is much, much slower for us to digest and absorb, it helps to keep our blood sugar steady, which is why it's great for people with diabetes. So I think I've pretty much covered everything I want to about fibre. So vitamins we mentioned, I think everybody knows vitamin C, of course, fantastic for our immune system. Vitamin C is also really important to help you to absorb iron from your food, from vegetables. So actually, even though when we eat meat like beef, we get a fabulous source of iron, eat the beef, absorb the iron straight away. When we eat vegetables, it's a little bit of a myth, although green leafy veg like spinach, watercress is another fabulous one. It's packed with iron, but we can't actually absorb that iron unless we have vitamin C in the same meal. So of course, these lovely carrots that Jane's chopped up here, the red pepper, beetroot, tomatoes, a fantastic source of vitamin C. So that's vitamin C. And then the other one I want to highlight, because of its effect on the immune system, is vitamin A. So in these red peppers, that red colour there, part of that is antioxidants, but it's also vitamin A is a really colourful vitamin, and I think we all know that. So all these lovely veg I've got in front of me here, just packed full with vitamin A. And vitamin A is particularly important with what we call our barrier immune system. So in the lining of our lungs and in the wall of our gut, the immune cells there specifically require vitamin A to work as best as they can. So the more vitamin A we can eat from our veg, the better. And of course, for any grandparents listening or anyone slightly older, vitamin A, fantastic for healthy vision. longer term. And all these vitamins are also needed by us to make our own antioxidants, and that's the last thing I want to just touch on before I assemble this dish. So again, we all hear about antioxidants, but why do we actually need them? So all the time, every day, we are all subject to cell damage. It's just aging, basically. That's what aging is that our cells become damaged. And we can actually produce all the time our own antioxidants in our body, and what they do is they prevent or they correct that cell damage. So they're all the while working to try and keep us healthy. But at times when maybe we're under a little bit more stress, so maybe if we're ill or we're on medicines, or even after extreme exercise actually, or if pollutants are the worst thing certainly for cell damage. But at times when perhaps we could do with a bit more antioxidants, it's great to just get that from our food to supplement our own antioxidant production. So again, the beetroot, peppers, carrots, watercress, all these, a lovely rainbow of veg, are packed full with antioxidants. And actually pink fish like salmon and trout is also really, really important source of antioxidants. So I hope you've got the message by now that there's so much about our lovely British veg that is just fantastic for our health. And of course, the other great thing about antioxidants is it does help to keep our skin healthy as well, which is always a great thing. So I think that's probably about everything the main points I wanted to get over today. So please keep the comments coming, and I'm going to show you then this dish that I'm just going to put together. We're going to be eating this for our tea tonight. So Jane, do you want to bring over the trout that we cooked up this morning, and we'll just show that lovely pink colour. Here it comes. So here we go. This is some fantastic British trout. It's come from our chalk stream rivers down in Hampshire. One of the great things about being a nutritionist working with food producers is I get to sample their lovely food. So we cooked that up this morning, just literally baked it in the oven for 8 minutes on a really high temperature with some lemon. And actually I also used, don't fetch the rapeseed oil, I also used some rapeseed oil to drizzle over it. And the one I really love to use, there's loads in this country that are great. This is one from Suffolk. Hill Farm cold pressed rapeseed oil, and the great thing about rapeseed oil is that it doesn't denature when you heat it. So I drizzled a little bit of that on the trout, and what we're going to do is, here it's a bit like Blue Peter, I have my pasta dish that I prepared earlier. So this is just whole grain pasta, good old British peas, and do you know, frozen peas are just my best friend. British, which is great, have them all year round, packed full of nutrients. Peas are especially good for a vitamin B, actually, which I should have mentioned, called folate. And any teenagers and ladies watching, really important to get as much folate as you can in the diet, especially if you're planning a family. So again, eating as much veg as possible is great for that. So anyway, we've got tomatoes and peas in with this pasta. Very simple so far. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little bit of beetroot. Now, I have to admit, this is the one gadget that I do have in the kitchen, is a spiralizer. And in fact, here it is here. And it has a beetroot placed on it. We'll show you how the spiralizer works in a minute, but it's a really quick way just to basically grate veg. So I use a knife and scissors for most things, but for things like beetroot, a really easy way, if mums are looking for an easy way to incorporate veg into family dishes, just spiralising some raw beetroot is quick and easy and really brilliant. So we've added our beetroot. We'll do that in a minute, Jane. Yeah. So if you could hold the trout up here for me, and we'll add the trout into our dish. So this is a great one for during the week as well, actually, because you can prepare it in the morning or whenever you're at home and put it in the fridge, and then you have it for that evening. It's all ready just for everyone to tuck into, and pasta always goes down very well in our house.
Yes, certainly
Oh,
does.
I think that might be a little bone that's crept in. Just get rid of that. So, just cover this in all this lovely trout. And of course,
Fabulous.
fish, a fabulous source of omega-3, vitamin D. It's one of the only foods, actually, oily fish, that has vitamin D in it, which is also really important for our immune system. And a vitamin B12, which is easy to become a bit low in if we're not eating enough animal protein. So, and that can lead to things like anemia. I'm not going to put it all in, but I just want to show you the effects. I think that's enough, Jane.
Cool.
We'll just put that in, and then we just kind of, you can flake it into smaller flakes. I think I was a bit ambitious with how much I'm trying to get into the bowl. And then I'm going to let Jane just put the sticks of carrot and pepper round the edge, and that's it. It's a real cheat of a dish. It's so quick and easy, but just packed full with nutrients. And yeah, Heather, you're just saying the Hampshire trout looks great. It's so fresh.
Really sustainable protein as well, isn't it?
Really sustainable protein, thank you. So you can always rely on a teenager to remind you about sustainability. Yeah, I mean, while you mentioned that, Jane, trout is amazing. It is one of the most sustainable fish that you can buy, because it actually puts on more body weight than the food it's been fed in the first place. So, you know, pretty good. And having worked with our British trout farmers, I know that they pay huge attention to the welfare of their fish, and so actually the antibiotic use is very, very minimal. So yeah, a great fish, and salmon obviously has a lot of the same similar health benefits. That's looking amazing, Jane. You've made a much better job than I would. And actually, why not? While we've got some right here, we've got some garden mint. Just going to make it look even prettier.
Like summer holidays have come back.
So yeah, we call this rainbow trout pasta, and of course it is rainbow trout, but you've got all the colours of the rainbow from the veg.
There we go.
So that's it. I'm just going to tilt that up so you can see it. That's our tea tonight. Hi, love British food. Good to see you tuning in. Yeah, it is delicious, and can't wait to eat it. Actually, we're going to have to wait a few more hours. So that's pretty much me. Please keep sending your comments. I'm here for a while. If you want to ask any questions and pop them in the comment box, I will do the best I can to answer them over the rest of this morning. But don't forget, Leaf's online farm Sunday going on all weekend. We've got loads on produce and provenance today, and then tomorrow lots of live videos coming from farms. I think we'll be watching that maybe. So loads of good stuff to watch. So keep watching and keep sending your questions. And just before I go, Annabelle from Warwickshire, hi. What is the best way to cook vegetables? Yeah, well, good point. I've cheated this morning because I've got lots of raw ones in here. It depends on the veg, and there will be chefs watching that can potentially ask that better than me. But from their nutrition point of view, I would always stir fry them or steam them, because then the water-soluble vitamins aren't leaching out too much. So the shortest amount of time you can cook them for, the better. Actually, yeah, here's the steamer. Beetroot, I love to roast. You just pop it in the oven as the whole beetroot. Actually, don't forget with the beetroot as well. I mean, this hasn't been washed yet, but once this is washed, if you're going to roast this, just chop off the root, chop off the stalks, pop it in the oven with however many you've got. Put a little bit of oil over the top, and you'll need to cook it for almost an hour. Beetroot takes a long time to cook. But don't forget then that these stalks and the leaves are fabulous in salad, or you can saute them or stir fry them. So beetroot, easy to grow, super easy to grow, all year round, at its best at the moment. And you can literally use the whole plant. So good and sustainable, hey Jane?
Pretty good.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for that question, Annabelle. So have a great rest of the day, everybody, and yeah, please keep sending your comments in. Okay, that's all from me. Bye.
Do you then have to press finish?
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I should do before I go? I should just wave.
Yes.
Don't forget, British food is great. Okay,
Cool.
bye.